Well, top of the morning to ya. I'm Liam the Leprechaun, and I've got a wee secret to share. ZJZDesigns.com has just unveiled their brand new St. Patrick's Day apparel. Featuring yours truly, of course. From cheeky tees to lucky prints, these designs are brimming with charm and plenty of gold. Whether you're heading to a parade or just feeling the Irish spirit, you look grand in these threads. So what are you waiting for? Skip the rainbow and head straight to ZJZDesigns.com. You'll find the pot of gold in your cart. No magic required. ZJZDesigns.com, where style is always in season.
Welcome, everyone, to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. Find me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. This is Bill Kimler, host of the podcast Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. You can follow him across all social media at PoliticalBillSC. If you want to participate in the show, you can chat with us on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. You can find links at the top of our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. Please follow and subscribe wherever you hear us. Let's get started.
Good.
Bill, how was your weekend?
Just squinting here, trying to see where my logo is on your board that you promised would be up today.
Crap. You know what? I can't actually reach it.
Man.
I can't reach it over there. Let's just say it was a busy weekend. I'm not going to make excuses, but it was a
just
it was
because you
it was
were
a busy
walking
weekend.
barefoot in the trail of the monks doesn't mean you get to be relieved of your commitments.
Let me just say I don't know how to really describe the experience, because obviously I think for everyone they
How
have a
is it
different
an
experience with it.
I mean, when you look at it, you've got some religious guys, or maybe they're not religious, it's just their way of life. They're dressed in exotic garb and they're walking through the streets. They stop and talk for a little bit, but I bet I could recreate off the top of my head about 90% of what they said.
Yeah.
And so what was the experience?
I don't disagree.
What was new or wild about it or life-changing? Just acting the skeptic here.
Well, for me, I don't think anything of it was life-changing. And as far as new, I think for me, it wasn't. It was sort of the acknowledgement of just kind of something slowing down, just kind of. I was standing among people that I didn't know, but we had conversations, and it seemed as though, as far as acknowledging, the value of what these monks are doing, I don't know, it was sort of a communal experience, maybe. I'm not sure.
I
don't
just
know.
feel this
it's something I have to think about as far as
a controversial dick here. I feel this was overhyped. I feel like this just kind of took on a life of its own that wasn't anywhere near what the reality of it called for. And you're not the only one, by the way. People I'm very close with, and dozens and hundreds of them in this area were completely moved when they came and marched through McCormick, and they all went down to see them and posted all their videos of handing flowers and talking with the monks or what have you. But I just think that this was a moment that was more invented than was actually there.
Yeah. And I, to go and look back at, when they started this journey from Texas months ago.
Is that any different than those that hike the Appalachian Trail? Right?
Yeah.
Same
maybe.
Distance, same concept. You put a pack in your back and you're kind of left to the goodwill of others, and you go hiking for days and weeks and months.
I will say the goodwill of others is not something that actually takes place anymore. There are so many stops along the Appalachian Trail that, for you to buy your food or to replace equipment.
So these monks have as well. Everywhere they're stopping, they can replenish, and they're getting put up for the night. They're not wandering aimlessly. They've planned their route so that there's civilization for them to stop at. So I see that as being no different. I mean, Villardebo, didn't he hike that trail? Right? I mean, what if we all went on a pilgrimage to watch him hike and sat on the side of the road and we're moved when Villardebo comes walking by, and just, what's up, brother? What's different?
I kind of I kind of want to reenact that now.
I hope he hears this clip.
He's got time.
I hope he hears it.
Oh, he'll hear it. He'll hear it. That's for sure. Did you have a good weekend?
I'm trying to remember what the weekend was, to be honest. Yes, we actually had, with the Democratic Party here in Greenwood, a pretty big event. We hosted the first ever forum featuring both candidates for South Carolina Superintendent of Education. So both Lisa Ellis and Sylvia Wright were here. They'd spent 90 minutes fielding questions from the large audience. The whole thing is available online to watch in bite-sized chunks, question and answer, so you can check it out for yourself. gwdcountydems.org. GWD for Greenwood, countydems.org. I want to see that in the show notes. Go check it out. And you'll see a well-crafted page with the clips of all the questions and answers, and you can make some decisions for yourself.
Okay. It was a forum, so I assume they took questions from the audience, but did it feel like it kind of yielded one candidate over the other?
When Sylvia decked Lisa Ellis, that was a little surprising. Just reached over and punched her right in the... No. I mean, you know me, I've already come out and endorsed Sylvia because she's been at this for a year. I've had a chance to personally interview her. This is just me personally. This is not the party speaking. So I felt Sylvia was stronger of the two candidates. She could stand to use some polishing herself in her answers. Most people who run for office for the first time, their answers are about 5 minutes longer than they need to be. So he's going to tighten it up, not try to answer all the world's problems in one paragraph, and be just more focused on the point. And then she has a couple of other specific techniques, just public speaking techniques that she'll need to be coached on. But it's because she's a real person. She's not a seasoned politician. She's not a motivational speaker. She works in a classroom talking to kids, right? And so she's the real deal.
Yeah. Well,
and by the way, I've got nothing against Lisa Ellis. She wins. Of
course.
She would do a fine job. She would be well served not to appear in your podcast again. After that scandalous performance last time.
You know what? And just to acknowledge, she didn't say anything wrong in respect to my question, but the opposition campaign definitely made a mockery of what I thought was a really good question. Because honestly, I don't know what the superintendent does. In fact, I can acknowledge right now, I don't know what the state of South Carolina's superintendent of education does at this point, except sign up new contracts with PragerU, push curriculum that looks to indoctrinize the children that use public school. So, I don't think I'm wrong about that.
You're not. And it was very unfortunate.
Use of media. It was. I did want to acknowledge. I did watch.
I was going to say that.
Eagles,
that was a complete bummer, but not unexpected. That game went pretty much as most of their games throughout the season did.
I didn't. And sure, I get that, but I thought AJ Brown was a little loose with his hands more than normal. If not for that, I think that we would be looking at the Eagles moving on to the semifinals. Is it semifinals? Is that what we call them?
It's a divisional round, is what that would be. So we just went through the wild card. That would be the divisional.
Yeah. So the Falcons haven't made it in so long that I haven't watched, and of course the Panthers are out. So between you, Zach, and Villardo and myself, none of our teams are in the playoffs. So have to find a different team to root for.
You're pulling for Chicago. I'm pulling for New England. You know that this quarterback who I've never heard of before this year is like come out of nowhere. No,
Stephen Fry. Just kidding.
Drake May, I think his name
I don't
is.
know who it
It's
is.
like, who?
Yeah, Drake
And
May. Yeah.
the fact that he's taken this team that was perennially in last place for since Brady left.
Yeah.
And now they're at the top of their conference. It's impressive. I'm rooting for them. I like the under-over dog here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's New England looks to be
I'm not watching the
favorite,
game tonight.
for sure.
It's the last game of the wild card, but I am rooting for Aaron Rodgers to lose.
I would be too. There's no reason there, except, I have family that is very tied to Pittsburgh, but I don't want Aaron Rodgers to excel at anything at this point in his life is where I'm going with that. I didn't see this until the end of the weekend, and it confuses me. But why is Donald Trump concerned about protesters in Iran and not protesters in the United States? Like, not equally.
He wants to defend the protesters in Iran and kill the protesters in our own country.
Right.
That's what he wants, right? To arrest and jail all the protesters. Unless you were election denying protesters, then you get a pardon for every crime you commit. So it really depends on what you're protesting.
We'll get into that here in a few minutes. I just don't understand. Like, Donald Trump is threatening to fire missiles into Iran because of how
and he's
going to
blow up those
protesters. Apparently,
protesters in the
death toll
process. Okay,
right. I have zero confidence in our military's ability, our Department of War, Department of Defense, whatever. I have zero confidence in them selecting targets that are not going to wind up killing protesters. There's 600 dead now. I think if we get involved, the likelihood is there's
what I think is more
thousands
frightening, and not more frightening. I want to take that back. I think what is just plain frightening is how Iran cut their country off from the internet completely. There was a kill switch, right?
Yeah.
Now, if Iran has that, you're damn sure there's one in this country as well. Or there is a
100%.
button in Washington, D.C. that
absolutely.
can be flipped, and you and I are not able to talk to each other by any means. And it doesn't matter what app you're using. It doesn't matter whether you're on Starlink, because Musk is in on it. You and I are writing letters to each other, right? Or figuring it out somehow.
We are sent back to, I guess, the Gilded Age, essentially. Well, less gold and more poverty. Well, the same amount of poverty, probably.
Just think about,
I would assume.
I'm going to take another twist here.
Yeah.
I'm imagining if that switch was flipped in the U.S., how useless would you and I be in society?
Oh, completely.
Now,
completely.
My
job is gone.
And got jobs and worked and did stuff before the internet age, right? I mean, I bagged groceries at a grocery store. I stocked, I paper route. I mean, I lawn service. I did stuff. But then once I got into the computer age, that's all my skill sets right now. So where could I get a job if that internet switch flipped? And I got to wonder what % of the nation falls in that same category.
So I worked at a print shop. My father owned a print shop. I worked at it. I learned how to operate all of the presses.
That's a very useful skill set nowadays. The presses may have to go back in style if you can't publish on the internet. Yeah,
for sure. I also was a pizza chef, and before I was even a pizza chef, I was a delivery driver. Before the internet, when you had to place phone calls to order your pizza, so you had to know what it was you were ordering. There wasn't DoorDash to deliver. I had a huge atlas map of the city of Decatur, and so that was how I knew I would literally write down the streets that I had to turn in order to get
driving
to a house.
While looking at a map. Like, you talk about distracted driving today, checking a text message or, a news item on your phone while you're driving.
Yeah.
And that is just shunned upon.
Yeah.
But back in our day, man, you had the full fucking map, and you would just look over the map once in a while to see if you were still on the road while you're trying to look at this font that's this small to see if you're hitting the right street. How did we get anywhere?
Delivering to downtown Atlanta was brutal then. Like, and now I don't think it's I don't know that it would be any easier because as soon as you get into downtown among the skyscrapers and whatnot, you lose your GPS signal. So, you can't be completely reliant on that. But yeah, no, I'd like to think there were fewer drivers on the road.
So weaving in and out of lanes wasn't as dangerous back then. There were fewer cars to hit.
Yeah. Hey, your daughter is a nurse. Have you been following any of the 15,000 nurses that went on strike today in New York City? Yeah. Apparently, Governor Hochul has already declared a state of emergency. So the hospitals that are affected are Mount Sinai, Morningside, and West. I'm going to say this wrong, but it's Montefiore, Fiore, and then New York Presbyterian. So essentially, all they're asking for, which I don't think their demands don't strike me as being really demands, but more just intelligence should be provided. They're asking for safe staffing ratios, which I think I've had conversations
Amanda
with nurses.
has said
I
that.
think your daughter has mentioned it
Absolutely.
before. Workplace violence protections just seems like a no-brainer. Of course, they're asking for wage and benefit increases because I think what I read was the last significant wage and benefit increase for the union or unionized nurses was 27 years ago. It's a long time to go, and then limitations on artificial intelligence as far as use in medicine and things like that is essentially what they're asking for. And to me, that seems like a no-brainer. Why is Mount Sinai healthcare system having such a difficulty with going, you're right,
So what does the state of emergency do?
This is a no-brainer.
So the governor declares it. What does that do for anybody? What does that mean? Doesn't force those nurses to go back to work,
does she bring in? No. And does it bring the National Guard in to handle?
ICE is now
nursing,
patrolling the
right?
hallways, changing your bedpans. Good luck with that.
Taking your blood pressure. Not real confident in their ability to do that.
Their bedside manner is for shit.
I did see that Mayor Mondami is standing with the nurses union, and which I think is the right way to go. I think this is appropriate, and I think that every now and then, especially when the circumstances require it, that there should be the workforce should walk out to demand and put pressure onto the what basically is a corporation.
We had a segment on our podcast not too long ago where we talked about how the federal government has declared nursing as a non-professional degree and therefore not eligible for some of the student loan benefits that other professional degrees are entitled to. So that's going to cut down on just the number of people available to enter into the nursing program. So this Mount Sinai is somewhat between a rock and a hard place. Yes, the nurses want safe staffing levels, but fuck if the federal government's not making that nearly impossible to get people into that profession.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Right. How are we going to have people pulling themselves up out of whatever neighborhoods or lifestyles and whatnot that they live in if they don't have the availability of loans that will get them through the schooling?
Our number one priority now is just to stay out of the damn hospital. That's that's what we got to do. We got to get in shape. We got to eat right. We got to cut back on all the bad stuff. Hey, I've lost 3 pounds this year so far, man. I'm on track. I'm on track to drop 52 pounds this year. A pound a week.
That's outstanding. Again, I don't know where you're going to lose it from.
Just watch.
But
going away.
I will. We will
I
keep
posted
track of
over
that
on
as we
Blue
go through the
Sky,
year.
and you'll probably see it hitting my other social feeds over the course of the week. There was a young man, I put him maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, that passed away here in Greenwood. And last week, literally Wednesday, Thursday of last week, he posted in a community Facebook group for Greenwood that all people can see. And he had posted a request looking for a a doctor who accepts patients that don't have insurance without, costing an arm and a leg. And I was like, well, that sucks, right? You actually have to come out and say, I don't have insurance. Then 5 days later, he was dead. And his mother is posting about how he was gone too soon. And, he was a popular worker at a local restaurant. He was a welder. I don't know him personally, but just from what I hear, a hardworking, decent guy. And literally one day he was looking for a doctor who would see him without insurance. And then less than a week later, he died in the middle of the night. And that doesn't perfectly tell the story of how fucked our country is in terms of our healthcare system. Like, this is a guy apparently knew he needed to see a doctor, probably been putting it off for months because he couldn't afford it because the jobs he could get didn't pay any insurance. And these are the same people that the assholes say Medicare and Medicaid are for the lazy, right? Get a job. These are the same people that are dying because of the mentality that these elites have.
Yeah. I don't,
when you see that post, you'll be shocked.
Literally,
it'll hit you. It hit me hard.
Literally, our country was founded on the rights of people to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And it is, and I'm not against capitalism. That isn't my issue. It is unregulated capitalism that has allowed for our healthcare system to be hijacked by profits. And the insurance is included in that as being probably, it's just as bad as the hospital systems. I mean, nothing, we have, I don't know. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow with the doctor that I absolutely adore. She is a fantastic general practitioner, and I was disappointed to find out last week that tomorrow I will be her last appointment.
Make sure you get that
MUSC
last turn your head and cough out of her before she goes.
We haven't done that yet, so I'll ask. I'll make sure that's on the agenda.
Warms those hands up first too. Insist.
But ultimately, it's experience. Is that where? Okay. I'll just say it's really disappointing that I can't seem to, or that most people can't find a decent general practitioner that is someone that you get to stick with years. I've been with the same dentist now for 24 years. I mean, like, I knew him before he had kids. I've seen his kid. We're
Facebook
friends.
Also be you've only been to the dentist once in 24 years, and you can make that same statement.
Let me tell you what, Bill. If my insurance would cover getting my teeth cleaned every single month, I would go 12 times a year. There are very few things in this world that I find as much happiness
I hate it
than having my teeth.
I mean, well, and
really?
Maybe it's just my dentist. But do they still come at you with the metal hooks to get in between your teeth and scrape away?
Yeah.
How is that any? How is that in any way enjoyable?
So for me, it's not that. That's a short part of the process.
It's the longest part. It lasts 100 hours. It's the worst. They coming at you with fucking medieval torture tools in your mouth, poking at your gums with a sharp iron pin prick. It's just horrible. How is that enjoyable?
But you know what I'm thankful for? Well, I don't know. I'm a masochist. I look, I have an extremely high pain tolerance. You could ask my hygienist. I don't bleed much because I floss, every single night. Which floss. That if that's the one thing you learned from tonight's episode, floss your teeth. Just floss. Floss, brush. If you
I gotta admit, you have an impressive set of chompers. I mean, your smile there is like, I would never have that. That's just incredible.
Never had braces because my mouth and head is big enough to accompany
you still have your wisdom
accommodate
teeth?
For all of the teeth.
Okay.
No, I had those taken out.
All right, so your head's not
23
that
years ago. Yeah. I did. I was.
Yeah, I was too. Did you do all four at once or two at a time?
Procedure.
Okay.
Yeah, all four at once. I had to have a ride home.
Yeah.
I was a little loopy, but I just had a filling from a filling had to be replaced just a few weeks ago, and I'm not bragging. This isn't a brag, but no anesthesia. All right. Not even local anesthesia. Because while I'm not afraid of shots, there is a limit to how much of a shot I think I can take. And they come in with the fucking needle and it's
Novocaine
like
shot.
this long.
See that I don't mind the Novocaine shot.
It's like
I actually dislike the metal hook scraping my teeth and my gums more than I mind the Novocaine shot.
But it's taking care of your teeth. Anyway, regardless, that's not a, we went down a weird path on that one. But yeah, no, I don't, pain doesn't bother me. And I like having my teeth clean. Like I said, I'd have it done every month.
Well, that explains why you keep getting married.
Just what I
do.
I
figure you love pain. That says a lot. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. Hey, I did an interesting dive into Gemini earlier today.
Who's Jim?
We'll wrap this up. Gemini.
I thought you were saying
Google's
Jim and
AI system.
I was like, who the hell's Jim?
Yeah,
Gemini.
yeah. No, that.
Okay.
Yeah, Gemini. So I basically asked it. I said, "Is there a correlation between what is ICE now and the Proud Boys?" And he said there is. He, see, I'm calling Jim and I a he, said there is a documented and significant functional and ideological correlation between extremist groups like the Proud Boys, January 6 participants, and current operations within the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE is currently engaged in a $100 million wartime recruitment blitz to hire approximately 10,000 to 14,000 new agents. This is as of January 1st. Critics and extremist experts have pointed to the recruitment materials that appear specifically targeted to MAGAverse and far-right circles. The official DHS ICE social media posts have used slogans like, "Want to deport illegals with your absolute boys," and "Which way, American man?" Ads have featured men in tactical gear and masks with no visible agency identifications alongside text regarding invasion and cultural decline. Experts note that these ads are designed specifically to appeal to militia-style mindset. There has been direct interactions between top immigration officials and figures associated with the January 6 participants and the Proud Boys. The current border czar has reportedly met multiple times with Terry Newsom, an associate of the Proud Boys, who was present at the Capitol on January 6. Newsom has claimed to be Homan's, that's our border czar, point of contact for certain deportation
did you see
strategies.
The slogan that was on Kristi Noem's podium today?
No, I missed that.
So she gave some sort of press conference, and on the podium, in the front of the podium, was the phrase, "One of us, all of you." And I may have gotten the exact wording wrong, but you'll come across it. But basically, that was the slogan used by the Nazis, where if a village harmed any of the Nazi police, the SS there, and you for every one of them, they will take out an entire village. Like they do respond with more than excessive force. And that's the phrase that she had on the front of her podium for all to see, but not even hiding it anymore.
I mean, and how is it that people that are seeing this, even if you're in the MAGAverse, whatever, how do you not see that and question how this is, where is this going?
They keep saying, turn down the rhetoric, stop constantly calling us Nazis. And then they fucking go and do nothing but Nazi stuff. I mean, how about stop doing the Nazi stuff? Then you'll find the rhetoric gets toned down.
How long before there's a banner of the swastika hanging from the east and west wing of the White House?
We already got Trump's face dangling in front of buildings. The USDA building's got Trump's big old mugshot hanging off of it. Come on.
Yeah. It's insane. It is just absolutely insane. I did see that there is nationwide protests being put together for January 20th. They're saying and a walkout apparently of people, jobs and schools and things like that at 2 p.m. I'm already, by the time 2 p.m. hits, I'll walk out. I'm already off. So that's not really that big a deal for me.
But January 20th, did you say? So that's the day after MLK Jr. Day.
Right. Yeah. And it's also 1 year into Trump's presidency. So there is, I don't necessarily believe everything I see on the internet, but there are rumblings that January 20th could represent a day which the United States takes a turn, as long as Trump's alive, I guess, towards Greenland specifically and Cuba. Donald Trump has endorsed Marco Rubio for president of Cuba. I don't even know what to say. Like how? Where are we at? It's the dumbest timeline. This is absolutely the dumbest timeline. And Zach and I talked about it this weekend with respect to the murder of Renee Good and the fact that this Jonathan, what's his name, the guy that killed her, Homeland Security has put him into hiding. He's under some sort of protection. That was a good
episode. I appreciated how you referred to me in that episode. And I know you don't remember. You're racking your brain thinking, what did I say?
Shit, what did I say?
You called me that fucker. That fucker, Bill Kimler, never sleeps was the quote. I am that fucker. And I sense the love and affection that you've got here. Appreciate that.
Look, I want you to don't interpret that as a negative. I know that if I ever need anything at all hours of the day or night, fucker. Bill Kimler, that fucker is available. So in case any parents were watching this, I do like Bill a lot, and he does send me Christmas cards every year, which I appreciate. And he's not that fucker. Maybe that was for that audience of one. You know what? On that bombshell, I think we'll wrap it up because I have talked myself into a corner, even completely absent-mindedly. So we'll wrap that up. Thanks, Bill.
Pleasure. As they say at the Chick-fil-A's.
It's going to wrap it up. Yeah. It was my pleasure to serve you. It's going to wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can follow Bill at PoliticalBillSC and myself at Barrett Gruber. Thanks for liking and hitting that bell. You can also give us a 5-star review. Appreciate that. Leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe. Be kind. Check out the Democratic Party webpage
gwdcountydems.org if you're interested in seeing the questions and answers with 2 of the Democratic candidates for South Carolina's Superintendent of Education.
Check out the webpage. It'll be in the show notes, so look for that. You all keep your hands to yourself.
Take care.
And
be safe.
Quit calling Bill that fucker. The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media LLC. Copyright 2026.